Hi guys, I would like to introduce you to GraphQL Monster, what is actually some instance server with GraphQL interface. And we will create some simple model for this demo app. Look on that. It is actually a little demo with presenting kind of Facebook where you have some posts. You have some field when you can create a post, you can pick the color and then we can post it. So our simple model will have just two fields, like one for text and one for color, and we will call it like post. And with this simple model, we will demonstrate mutation for create, for update, for delete, also some queries for one particular post model, and all of them, even with some filtering. So let's go start it. Let's back to the GraphQL monster. We can log in. I can use the GitHub account. I will say authorize me. And now I'm here and telling me I have to create a project. So let's hit the create project. Here it's pretty simple. We will do the Facebook demo and we will create some model which will represent our posts. So let's call it like type model. Actually, this post. How to create a model, you can see on the documentation. It will be something like type, name and model, and defining what fields the model will have it. We can start really simple with just one field, which we will calling the text, and it will be string. Why string? You can also look on the field specification and you can see what kind of option we have it for fields. I take the string for character sequence. Okay, let's save it. We can actually leave the project setting and go to the projects. Now it's telling us there is still no projects. Let's say refresh. Here we are. We have it one finally. And from various of button, choose the admin playground. Now, when we're looking to the schema, we should find it some mutation for create post. We have create post, update post. Maybe even better, you can look to the documentation, you can see the queries, you can see the mutation, and we will create one new post. So how to create some post? As you can see, the create posts have like two inputs, like it's text and user ID. The text is created by us and user ID is automatically, because if you will closely look what is the response of the create posts, is the post model, and that's have a little bit more fields when we actually create it. It have the text one, but also have it ID, create at, update at, and user is not normal type. It's also some model which was created automatically for you, but we will not care it for now. And let's jump it to create mutation. Mutation, create post, and let's say text hello from admin console, and we can say let's show us ID, create at, and so text and user ID. So it was created for us some post which have some ID, have the text we selected. So that's how to create some data through the GraphQL. But what about, I have here some typo, it's just console, but should be there some console. Let's fix that. We can create new mutation. We can look to the documentation. There is some update post. Update post have a little bit more to offer. It's have ID, text, user ID. We will care just about the ID. So as you can see, the ID have the exclamation mark, and that's meaning that's the mandatory. You have to always have it there. On the other hand, the text is kind of optional, but we would like to fix the text, so we will use it as well. So again, we will start with mutation, and we will use the update post. We will add the ID. The ID, what ID we should take it? Let's look at the previously created post and copy his ID, put it here, and text, because I would like to just fix the problem here. Actually, it's completely wrong. It should be admin playground. And let's return some data, ID, text, update at, create at. Boom. We close the docs. And we see the updation. It's 3 minutes older than the creation. And we have it, the new text. Maybe you don't trust me. Maybe you feel like, okay, just the result of the update post is telling what you telling on the input. Maybe we can create a new query which will querying just a specific post. So query is without a mutation, and the query which we are interesting about is just a simple post. Look, and post have it ID. So we will do post, we'll say ID. I will copy this ID, and I would like to see the text. It's telling us the hello from admin. Even as you see from my input is nothing about the text. It's somewhere there. Maybe you still don't trusting me. So let's create a query for querying all the posts. We will look at the documentation, all posts, have it like few of the inputs, but any of them is actually the mandatory. All of them is optional. So we can all of them skip and just type the all posts. Say we can see the ID, text, and created at, updated at, boom. No, we don't see anything more because we have just one post. Maybe it will be interesting if we will create one more post, but this time we will create some function for us because we have here some query variables, and I think it's good to have it and using them instead to type it directly here. So we will create post. We will say the first parameter will be text, but the text with the dollar is representing is actually a variable. It's not something internal. It will be coming from the outside. Text, we will say it will be string. The text type string is actually have to be the same like the text in the create post. For us is the string. I will put it like here, and let's add some new variable. The input variables are JSON, so we have to be in double quote text from variables. Let's hit the text is null. Why is text is null? Because I put into the headers. Put it to the variables. One more time. It's something happening. Let's look at all posts. And here we are. We have like 3 posts right now. One, it was created first time. Second one, which is actually with the no text because it was my mistake. I was putting to the HTTP header instead of the variables. And the last one is actually the correct one. Maybe you're asking how to actually delete the wrong one. Also very easy answer. You can create mutation for deleting. You can look at the docs, and we can see remove posts. I have one mandatory input. It's actually ID. That will be easy. So let's make it a little bit complicated with the function and variables. So mutation, remove post. We will say ID. It will be ID. We have to say also it will be mandatory. I have to really be the same. How is the calling method inputs? And now I will be remove post. I will say ID. We can see the result. Post model, yeah. ID. We'll not make the same mistake, so let's create a variable ID. And from all posts, we will take one which is broken. Let's put it here and try hit it. It's actually nothing happening. I see the problem. Actually ID, the second parameter is variable ID. So now we see just some ID telling us the remove post ID. And if we will call one more time to all posts, we see now just 2, and previously was here like 3. Maybe we can literally play with the all posts and say we would like to see just one result, even if there is more of them. We can use the limit. We can say like I would like to see just one, and here we are. We have just one. But more interesting, and we will look at the documentation. It's actually a filter. If I will look at the filter, we have a lot of the filtering. And one thing what we can try is the text not contain. Filter not contains, and we will say, let's look onto our result. We will skip all the records which they have something to do with the dot. And let's try it, and just showing just a hello from admin. Or we can say we would like to see just the only one which they actually contain a dot. So that will show us the all results which they have in that. Also we can look on the sort, and we will check the documentation. Actually not sort, it's order by. And we would like to order by creation at descent. We have here like update at, create at, ID, text, user. So let's create at, and we will say descendantly. So it will be the opposite how we actually was creating. Created at. What I have to do wrongly. So it's without square double quotes, but that's the same one, and we will say desk. So as you can see, the text is what from the variables is actually now in the first place. Even we was created it, and secondly, after the hello from the admin playground. Actually, guys, that's not at all, because we have text, but in our demo we have also some color. So how to add the color there? It's pretty simple. We will left our admin console. We will come to the configuration, and let's new field, which will say color. And to keep the simplicity, I will say it will be again string, and then I will save it. Easy like that. Then when I will go back to the playground, if I will look to the documentation, if I will look to the, let's say, create post, and here we are. We have now here also color. If you remember used to it, it was here just text and user ID. So now we have color, and even in our posts, we also can returning to color. So I will start it with the returning color, and the color. And of course, all of them have it null. So we can do by updating. We can update the first one, for example, and we still have it here some prepared. And I will say color, and I will say some HTML color like FF00FF. That will be yellow. And I will update the color. Now we will query all posts. Here we are. We have one. So I just would like to present the model you was creating on beginning. It's not forever, like you can keep updating, and every save actually introduce your changes, and you can play with them as well. Thank you to watching all video till the end. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it. So next time we will create some React app connected to GraphQL Monster with some simple human interface to actually create a new post and show off them. So that's kind of interesting topic. So I hope I will see you, all of you, in next video. So see you and bye bye. Have a nice time. Thank you.